Happy Monday and welcome to week 1 of business communications, the official first week of a full week of coursework. I know that I touched base with you last week and sent out a video and some information letting you know you could take care of some preliminary things such as picking topics and signing up for teams. I also kind of gave a heads up on possible Zoom meetings that would be occurring. And speaking of Zoom meetings and Zoom calls, our first Zoom call tonight was an epic fail. Now, I think that is a little bit my fault. I think it's a lot of different things that was going on. I think, first of all, not everybody was sure if it was mandatory and if you had to be a part. I think that some people weren't sure how to get in and get logged in. And my connectivity was not very good. So a couple different things happening tonight, which is why I am putting this video together now for you guys. So a couple things that you need to know as far as Zoom meetings and how you can get connected. First of all, is it mandatory? And right now I'm going to say no. I am going to make a Zoom meeting. I'm actually going to do 2 Zoom calls a week. Just so it's there for those that need to ask questions at those 2 different times. We're going to do a Monday and Thursday at 6 p.m. I tried to do tonight's at 5:30 because that was the official class time, but I think giving you that extra half hour will give a few more people the opportunity to get home and get settled before, because I know some of you are back to work before having to log in. Each day, though, I will send an announcement if we have a call that day with the information for that call, with the how to join the meeting and the meeting ID and the password. And I sent one of those today, so you can, this is the one that I sent today, so you can kind of look at that and get an idea of what one would look like. I also would like to record those. If anybody has a problem with that, please let me know when you join if you don't want to be recorded, because some weeks I'll do videos like this, but some weeks I may just need to put up the recording of our Q&A for that week, and that might take care of any questions that any of the students might have for that given week. So it's not mandatory, but I do think they're very helpful and they could be very beneficial. I think that we are seeing that classes that have that type of opportunity, students tend to be a little more successful. So going to give you that opportunity. Now next week will be a little weird because Monday is a holiday. And so I would not do a Zoom call on a holiday. I'm not going to mess with your Memorial Day. And then Thursday, I'm actually out of town. So I will answer phone calls. I will answer text. I will be available via email. But I don't think we'll do any Zoom calls next week. We'll do one again this Thursday, kind of get things kicked off, let you work for a couple weeks. And then week 3, we'll resume our Zoom calls. So one way is to log in through your to connect through your announcement. Another way that you can connect is through your calendar. So on your calendar, if you'll look here, I had one, there's a marker here on today's date at 5:30 for the one that we had today. You'll see I've already put one on your calendar for Thursday. So if you have questions after watching this video and you want to be a part of that Zoom call, it's there in your calendar for the 21st. If you click it, you'll see a link there. That link will take you directly into the Zoom meeting. And then another way that you could also connect is if you'll look on your homepage of your course, in the modules over to the right, you see a to-do list as well as coming up, and you see right under that coming up, there's a welcome call take 2. That will also link you over to the Zoom calls. So I just wanted to kind of clarify some of the questions that might be there about the Zoom calls. Are we going to be doing Zoom calls? Yes, I'm going to try to make at least 2 available, with the exception of next week because of the holiday and me being out of town, each week. Is it mandatory? If there is something that I really think that you guys need to tune into, or maybe it's we have an upcoming exam and I think it would be helpful if you tuned in because I'm going to give you some information about that exam, I will let you know in the announcement. But at this point, I'm not saying that they're mandatory. They're there for those that want to utilize them. They'll be available, like I said, Monday and Thursdays at 6 o'clock. And I will be recording, so hopefully that will help as well. All right, the next thing I wanted to, once we got all that clarified about Zoom calls, the other thing I wanted to point out is I had a couple questions about where to find the syllabus. For whatever reason, on the day that I launched the course and published it, the tab for syllabus here on the left was not showing. I think I have that fixed now. I'm seeing it here. You should be seeing it there. You can click on syllabus. It should take you there. And when you do so, you'll see your link to your course syllabus. You can download it, you can print it, it'll never go away, it'll be there forever. I just want to admonish you and ask, please, admonish is probably not the right word, but I just want to implore you to please not enter any of the assignments through this list. It's going to be tempting, but please do not do it. It causes problems with Cengage, and sometimes it hinders your grades from rolling correctly. So please make sure that you are actually entering into the assignments through this page, through the modules page, okay? And so that's taken care of. So now I just want to get to the real purpose of tonight's video, which was just an overview of the format of the course. So I'm going to scroll through the APA information. I'll come back to that in just a minute. But I wanted to show you what a typical week in business communications looks like. So each week there'll be a link to your reading. If you've not hooked up officially to Cengage, this is the easiest way to do it. Click on that chapter 1 reading. It'll launch into Cengage. It'll prompt you for your information, and then boom, you're hooked up. If you have trouble though, give me a call. So there's always a link to your reading, and then each week you will have a mind tap assignment that you have to do. I believe you get 3 attempts at that, and it averages the 3 together. You will also have a Canvas quiz. The Canvas quiz is grammar centered. And so when you do that, I have a lot of students, they do not like the grammar quizzes. They're short. They also do not have a lot of weight in the class. They're only worth about 10% of the overall course. And so if you want help on that, you can give me a call. Utilize outside sources. As long as you're digging and you're figuring out what those punctuation marks are all about, what that sentence structure is all about, what subject-verb agreement is all about, that's what's necessary. That's building those grammar muscles. And we really can't truly be the writer we need to be if our grammar is lacking. So each week, a mind tap assignment. You have a Canvas quiz that's centered around grammar. And then you also, now not the first 2 weeks because I want you to get your feet under you, but starting week 3, then you will also have a writing activity. And that sometimes will be 1, most of the time it will be 1. The first couple weeks it's 2, just making sure you guys are getting in sync. So in week 3 and week 4, you'll see you have 2 writing activities. They're not incredibly lengthy. Sometimes it's looking at a piece of writing, a memo, an email, and telling me what you see that's wrong in it. Sometimes it's rewriting it. Make sure you're following the instructions, and I'll also be talking about those in those Q&As each week on the Zoom calls of what to expect the next week and what to expect that week with the writing activities. But for week 1 and week 2, you don't have that. Just the mind tap assignment, the Canvas quiz, and then you also have opportunities each week for the first several weeks for a grammar mechanics Cengage quiz. Link into it. Don't change anything up. Just link straight over to that, and then you can take that short quiz, and that is worth extra credit. Now, that grade will not roll over until after the due date. Your mind tap, for whatever reason, it rolls immediately once you do it. But the grammar mechanics quizzes will not roll until after the due date. So a couple of you have already emailed me about that. If they're still not showing a grade for it on May 25th, then you need to contact me. Okay, so I think that kind of goes through kind of what is expected each week and the workload. Most work is due on Sundays, like I had said earlier. Your APA assignments, those are typically due on a Wednesday. So just want to show you a couple things about that. If you're wanting to just kind of start digging, now that you've picked your topic and you've got your team, the next few weeks is all about communication with your teammates and research. And so you want to start researching. The next thing that's due is June 17th, and that's an outline and a list of proposed references. If you're wanting to know long-term, what is this whole thing going to end up being like, you can take a look at the final paper there, that bottom one. There's a rubric attached to that you can read. Also, give a read through both step 1, step 2, but mostly step 1 and step 3 will kind of give you some timelines, some formatting information about it. And then, of course, you can always contact me. But right now, you just need to be communicating with your team, finding out what's the best way to communicate. Are you guys going to do Zoom calls? Are you going to do Office 365 meetings? Are you going to use Canvas email? Are you going to do group text? Whatever it is that works best for the team as a whole. So communicate and start researching those topics. And I'll tell you a little bit more about the outline in a couple weeks as we get a little bit closer. The other thing I want to make you aware of is check out this module on our CF library. So when you're researching, there's a lot right here in this module at your fingertips. So Make sure you're perusing this, going through it, looking at it. It will help a lot with your research since you can't go on campus. And again, as always, if you have any questions, please let me know. Towards the end of the semester, there's typically an oral presentation. I am benching that for right now. Doesn't mean we're not going to do something, but it could change its look. So I have it in right now as it typically is for the course, but just know I am thinking about tweaking that assignment somewhat. And so maybe even a lot. So don't get too far ahead. I know a lot of people like to work ahead, but there are going to be some changes made to that oral presentation. So don't get too crazy. Again, reach out to me if you need me. My number is 352-897-0002. I look forward to helping any and all of you as much as I can. Look for an email and a reminder about that Zoom call on Thursday, as well as a short video